I never thought I'd become obsessed with a boat. Actually, scratch that. I never thought I'd become obsessed with something that's not even really a boat, but more like a floating city that costs more than most countries' annual budgets. It all started on a random Tuesday night. I was scrolling through some random maritime forums. Don't ask me why. Sometimes the internet takes you to weird places. When I stumbled across something that made me do a literal spit take with my lukewarm coffee, the Dilbar. At first, I thought it was some kind of elaborate Photoshop or a rendering from a sci-fi movie. But no, this was real. Brutally, incredibly, mind-bogglingly real. $600 million. Those words might not mean much when you first read them, but let me break that down in a way that'll make your brain hurt. $600 million is more money than most people will see in hundreds of lifetimes. It's the kind of money that could solve entire cities' infrastructure problems, fund multiple hospitals, or basically buy you a small country. And someone, just one person, spent that entire amount on a boat. But Dilbar isn't just a boat. It's not even just a yacht. It's a floating testament to what happens when someone decides that normal rules of reality simply don't apply to them. The owner, Alisher Usmanov, isn't your typical billionaire. He's the kind of guy who probably looks at most luxury purchases and thinks, cute. But I can do better. Russian businessman, metals and mining magnate, the type of person whose net worth makes other billionaires look like they're running a lemonade stand. When they built Dilbar, it wasn't like constructing a normal boat. This was more like sending a human to Mars, but on water. Every single inch of this vessel was designed with such microscopic precision that it makes modern smartphones look like Stone Age tools. We're talking about materials so advanced that most engineering teams would give their entire research budgets just to understand how they work. The statistics are so ridiculous, they almost sound like a joke. 156 meters long, 15,917 tons heavy, a crew of 96 people. That's more staff than most boutique hotels have. An indoor swimming pool so massive it defies every single logic of maritime engineering. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about showing off. This is about pushing the absolute boundaries of what humans can create. I talked to a few maritime engineers, because of course I did. This obsession had taken over my life by this point, and they would get this particular gleam in their eyes when discussing Dilbar. It wasn't just admiration, it was pure, unadulterated awe. These are people who spend their entire careers designing boats, and even they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The interior? Forget everything you know about luxury. This isn't luxury. This is entering a realm that doesn't even have a proper word yet. Marble floors so perfectly polished you could do your makeup by their reflection. Artwork that costs more than entire neighborhoods. Bathrooms that make five-star hotel suites look like public restrooms. But here's something most people don't talk about. Dilbar isn't just a monument to wealth. It's a floating laboratory of innovation, advanced waste management systems, fuel-efficient engines that would make environmental scientists weep with joy. Technologies that are so advanced, they're basically solving problems we didn't even know existed. The crew isn't just staff, they're essentially floating specialists. Imagine having a team so skilled that they can solve virtually any problem while literally floating in the middle of an ocean. We're talking about people who are part engineer, part doctor, part technology wizard, all while maintaining a yacht that's more complex than most small countries' infrastructure. And the really crazy part? Nobody knows everything about this vessel. There are rumored secret rooms, hidden spaces that no photographer has ever captured. What could be in those spaces? A private cinema that would make Hollywood directors jealous? A gym so advanced it seems like it belongs on a space station? Maybe even a secret submarine dock? Every time I think about Dilbar, I'm reminded that human potential is limitless. This isn't just a boat. This is a floating symbol of what happens when someone decides that the word impossible is just a challenge waiting to be conquered. So here's the deal about Dilbar that most people don't understand. This isn't just some rich person's plaything. It's a wild story that sounds like pure fiction, but every single detail is absolutely true. Talking about Dilbar isn't just about throwing around massive numbers like $600 million. It's about understanding a level of engineering and human ambition that most of us can't even imagine. We're talking about a vessel that's so complex, so incredibly sophisticated, that it makes most technological achievements look like elementary school science projects. Let's break down what makes Dilbar truly extraordinary. This isn't just a boat. It's a floating ecosystem of technology, luxury, and human innovation. The engineering challenges solved in its creation are so mind-bending that they could fill entire university research papers. Take the cooling system alone. Most people would assume it's just a fancy air conditioning setup. Nope. We're talking about a technological marvel so advanced that entire teams of engineers spent years developing something that could manage the incredibly complex environmental needs of such a massive vessel. Imagine trying to keep a floating city at the perfect temperature while dealing with ocean conditions that change by the minute. Alisher Usmanov, the owner, isn't just spending money. He's basically funding a floating laboratory of human potential. This is a guy who doesn't just buy a yacht. He creates a moving testament to what's possible when you push technological boundaries. The crew situation is something else entirely. These aren't just boat workers. These are hyper-specialized professionals who are part engineer, part hospitality expert, part problem solver. We're talking about people so skilled that they can manage everything from advanced mechanical repairs to preparing a 5-star gourmet meal, all while navigating complex maritime conditions. Let's talk about the food situation. Most luxury experiences have good catering. Dilbar has multiple professional-grade kitchens that are more advanced than most restaurant setups. We're talking about food storage and preparation capabilities that can keep ingredients perfectly preserved while floating in the middle of the ocean. The level of refrigeration technology alone is something that would make most food scientists absolutely lose their minds. The communication infrastructure is another level of crazy. Imagine having internet speeds and communication capabilities in the middle of the ocean that would make most urban internet providers look like they're using tin cans and string. Video conferencing, high-speed data transfer, satellite communications, all while literally being hundreds of miles from the nearest cell tower. But here's the real magic, and I mean the truly fascinating part. Dilbar isn't just about showing off wealth. It's a floating demonstration of human innovation. Every single component tells a story of solving problems that most people would consider impossible. The environmental considerations are surprisingly sophisticated. This isn't an ecological disaster like most people might assume. Advanced waste management systems, engines designed to minimize environmental impact, technologies that are years, if not decades, ahead of standard maritime practices. The global collaboration behind Dilbar is mind-blowing. We're talking about materials sourced from over 20 different countries, specialized glass from Germany, advanced composites from Japan, rare woods from sustainable forests. Each component represents a global network of human expertise. What most people don't understand is that Dilbar represents more than just a luxury item. It's a floating museum of human achievement, a mobile showcase of what happens when creativity, technology, and resources align perfectly. Every rivet, every carefully designed space, every advanced technology tells a story of human potential, of our ability to look at something that seems impossible and say, actually, we can do this. It doesn't matter if you're a student dreaming of your first startup, an entrepreneur fighting to make your vision real, or someone just trying to survive and thrive. Dilbar represents something universal. It's a reminder that the only boundaries that truly exist are the ones we create in our own minds. And you know what? The more I learned about Dilbar, the more it hit me. This isn't just a yacht. It's a full-blown symbol of how far humanity has come. I mean, think about it. There was a time when our ancestors were figuring out how to carve canoes out of logs to cross a river. Fast forward to today, and we're building floating cities that defy every law of physics and logic we thought we knew. What's wild is that Dilbar didn't just pop out of nowhere. This wasn't one person's idea or even one country's effort. It's the result of a global brainpower marathon. Engineers in Germany designing the hull, craftsmen in Italy perfecting every inch of the interior, cutting-edge materials sourced from across the globe. Every single part of this yacht represents a massive network of expertise, passion, and precision. But let's pause for a second. Let's talk about what it really means for someone to own something like Dilbar. It's not just about flexing wealth, though. Let's be real, that's definitely part of it. It's about having the audacity to look at what's already been done and say, nah, let's take it further. To me, Dilbar feels like a challenge to the rest of us. A reminder that even the wildest ideas, the ones that seem downright ridiculous at first, can be turned into something real. It's not just a floating city, it's proof that the only limits we have are the ones we set for ourselves. Thank you for watching. Make sure hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more.